We have a quorum. First, item is approval of minutes from July 11th. Wasn't there, so
I move we approve. I don't see anything that needs.
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And all abstain, yep. Public comment, items not on the agenda. Everybody here has airport business. So I think we'll move right on. Items for discussion, airport construction projects. First one is for the FAA runway 130 display threshold relocated.
Project is mostly done. They've got some light fixtures that are supposed to be going in tomorrow. I haven't been out there, but the cedars are supposed to.
They were working when I drove by. I didn't go look at it.
So getting the finishing touches wrapped up on it. We still do need to have the FAA do the flight check for the lights. I don't know that we have that scheduled yet because we were waiting for the replacements to get in, so we don't have two different light fixture systems in for them to argue about.
We don't have to get that flight checked for our 30 approach, right?
No.
Because nothing changed.
Nothing cheap.
Yeah.
It's just for the rails.
It's just for the.
Reels, happy, yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that's where that one's at.
Solar power project.
We have our grant offer in hand.
Have had
In
in inbox. Several nasty grams that you haven't signed it yet.
About once a week. Yeah, so FAA gets out the grant offer, that is paying for our, solar array. So far at the moment, we're still on schedule for September 9th. The contractor is waiting for one more piece of equipment that's supposed to be coming in. So the start date might shift a little bit there. But otherwise, pretty much the month of September is construction and Travis, we did a couple of different things with the panels. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, like I just wanted me to kind of update you. There's a slight change to the plans. We designed the system at a 30-degree tilt on the panels, so the angle tilt. That's basically the optimum tilt for the panels themselves to generate the most power. Contractor came back to us and had kind of requested if they could put in a 20-degree tilt to make it a little flatter. The reason behind this is wind loading. The 30-degree tilt is a little more wind loading, but the primary reason behind it is per the Iowa floodplain permitting requirements. The solar panels, the minimum height of the panel needs to be 5 foot above the ground. Essentially, you need to be above the floodplain, a foot above that elevation. Typically, solar panels are installed about 2.5 feet above the ground. So these are an additional 2.5 feet taller than they normally are. So having the panels at a lower tilt allows the contractor to not order a customized racking system because of that extra 2.5 feet. The rack system would be customized to get the amount of depth into the ground that they need. So what they propose is lower the tilt of the angle. However, they're adding additional panels as that would reduce the energy generation from the panels. So they've offset the energy generation by adding additional panels. And then also they did bifacial panels. What that means is they can create solar generation power off the backside of the panel, basically reflection off the ground. The reason they went that route is if they just went by purely adding more panels to the system, there's not a lot of room out there to squeeze more panels in. Using the bifacial panels allowed them to add in, I think it was 4 on the one system and 2 on the other, so a total of 6 panels. And then that bifacial, the backside that generates additional power. They've provided all their numbers to us, all our calculations. We reviewed all that information. The system they're recommending or suggesting to install at 20-degree tilt meets or exceeds the power that we had estimated for creation as well. So to you guys, it's really no different. You're gonna get a few more panels, you're gonna be a little flatter. That's really about it. The reason behind it was mainly the wind loading and then that custom racking would need due to the increased height of the panels from the floodplain permit.
Are these panels still, are we still planning on having them basically above what we hope is future parking?
So these won't be, these are gonna be on.
Those are the ones on the, not the ones.
These aren't over here. These.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay,
Correct. These are the air side.
got it, okay. Cost doesn't change.
They're proposing that at no cost change.
In the winter, maybe that bifacial panel would do better with reflection of the snow and everything.
It's possible, yeah, it does create a little more reflection in the winter for sure.
Make sure Matt doesn't plow or do.
But the other fact is, so you're talking about 20 degrees from horizontal, so they're
Correct.
practically flat.
Yeah, so they're gonna be flatter than what was originally proposed. Exactly.
Do these need to be shoveled off?
We'll have to monitor, and watch for that.
For the most part, they're slippery enough, that snow
But
typically
at
does
20
slide
degrees,
off.
I can't imagine.
They're pretty slippery, and they do kind of create heat. From the panel itself, that kind of creates that layer of heat that kind of creates a little layer that they do slide off, from that as well. But as Mike said, you might have to monitor it. That would be one potential negative of the flatter panels.
Yeah. It sounds good.
Yeah,
You don't need any action taken.
yeah, we do. We-
Not on the panels themselves, but I do need you
Yeah.
guys to accept the
So
grant.
we have this resolution.
Yeah.
So I move we adopt a resolution authorizing the chairperson to accept the FAA grant. Airport solar.
Second,
Warren,
I,
Ryan, Judy,
aye.
Chris, sign that as soon as do you want us to sign, do you want me to sign the DocuSign email?
Yes.
The Acrobat thing, whatever.
Yes, you can now.
Okay. Sweet. I'll do that before I leave. Terminal building.
Terminal building, we have submitted the grant application for the next round of funding. We are putting together the final touches on a kind of an FAQ support document to give to FAA and some other folks to help push for support for the project. Chris has seen it, Carl and I worked on it, and then it kind of fell off while I was out of the office for a while. But I want to take that to Kansas City with me at the end of the week, and we'll give that to our FAA folks, at least for the start, and then we'll plan on having Chris give that to the university liaison. And we'll send a copy over to our congressional delegation to let them know. That's what I did. So we'll see where it goes.
And then all your representatives. Right, I mean,
Yeah.
as just regular voters or,
Yeah.
constituents, all your reps, say, hey, you know. this.
And if they want more information, you can throw them my way or.
Mhm.
So that's that. I don't expect to hear anything for the awards until around the October timeframe. Carl, I don't know if you've seen anything different from FAA.
I have not, I mean, last year, because it was later due date, they came out really late, spring.
Yeah, yeah.
Hoping they'll be out, say, October, hopefully later, November, but I haven't heard something.
Already election likely, right?
Iowa T grant projects again, if we have any ideas for the next round of state applications, I did get the last couple of reimbursement requests on off our active grants, so we pending paperwork getting shuffled around at the state level, we have no more active state grants at the moment. But other than that, that's it for the DOT budget. The big thing is the hangar rates for the next term. And generally speaking, most everybody around us hasn't really changed their rates. Cedar Rapids is still implementing their 5-year plan of rate adjustments. To where they set a new rate fixture for a rate schedule for anybody that was new, but they were gradually increasing the existing T hangars, folks that had leases. Our budget is what it is. We still are paying higher rates for labor and maintenance and other issues. So I am proposing a 5% increase. And that's kind of where we're at.
I guess I need to abstain from this.
Unfortunately, yeah, you and you both get it.
So that's what I was trying to figure out.
You're both hanger tenants.
Is that city code? That we abstain?
Conflict of interest because you get a vote on the fees you're paying.
And if we
I'm
still.
trying to figure out, because if I, does the city set water rates and stuff, or is that something that, because like if I was on the city council or whoever voted for water rate increases, everyone abstains?
No, but I think those are, they also have to have public hearings.
Okay, so if there's a public hearing, then that rule, or it's
Well- And there's also like specific statutory language to utility rates and water rates that outline the process.
okay,
The better example might be, state representatives or not necessarily applies here, federal representatives voting on salary.
yes. Well, much like there's many examples,
Yeah.
present in city, state, federal
Yeah.
government, so it's just
Sorry.
interesting.
But we,
But I guess, so does this cover the budget increase, I guess? Because I can still discuss it, right? I just can't vote on it.
Yeah, we can still discuss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have input on it. You
Yeah, I just can't vote.
do we still have lists of people wanting hangers?
Yes,
So, and we have like a long list.
yes.
So if we raise this, does it knock any people off of wanting the hangers?
To be determined. I don't know.
But in general, we've had these lists for a long time. What about the idea of getting new hangars built? Have we gotten any further on that?
No, because the numbers don't work for
Okay,
the cost to build them compared to what our rents
we
are.
have to be for it.
So what would, do we know what our rents would have to be to justify new
About double.
double?
Okay,
Do it, see what.
okay.
So, yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
Burn it down.
so it sounds like as much as you guys wouldn't like to pay more, we need the money. And we've got people, so if people decide not to have their planes here, they could go to one of these other cities that might be cheaper and they'll just have further to go.
Yeah, and I'm not saying not to raise them. I'm not saying, because I mean, $5 a month is not gonna, or $10 can't change my budget. So I'm not saying, I'm just
Yeah,
wanting to
that's
provide
okay.
input.
That's fine. And I don't have a vested interest because I have nothing to
Yeah.
planes. So. Other than I hear them all the time coming, they loop around past my house.
We can send some more, or Warren can send some more.
Lauren, I think you have that.
The 5% increase gets us about $7,000, give or take. A year of additional revenue. Mainly keeps up with the inflationary type stuff. Large increases on things like insurance or stuff like that, or things we have to take a better look at the budget and when we're doing the budgeting process and kind of walk through and.
So these are only T hanger rates? These aren't like OPL or ambulance or?
No, because those are on separate contracts.
Okay.
And so typically those are longer term contracts and they have a 5-year CPI inflator. So they do have inflationary
Mhm.
adjustments, just not quite as often as.
Or it's high, right? Because CPI is probably not 5%.
It depends. I mean, the last time we did the universal.
Or I guess it follows.
Yeah, it follows whatever the inflation, but it's a longer look back, so you get a little bit of a higher jump.
You just need approval, right?
Yeah,
Like consensus, or you need a motion?
motion.
Just a motion.
All in favor.
All right, I move that we adopt, Mike's recommendations for hanger rate adjustment for 2024-25.
I second.
All in favor?
I.
Say.
The budget review, we do have, did you find the page? Sorry, at page, I guess page 43. Yeah. This, basically, so this report gave a look at the 2023-2024 actual numbers. And then what we have adopted for the current fiscal year 2025, and then projections out for 26 and 27. The big increases were insurance. We also had some, more unique costs where, early in the year, last fiscal year, last summer, our gate operator for the gate over by Cary Ambulance gate itself, because it was 50 years old, finally needed to be replaced. And then we had a couple of hangars, and then the Airbnb over here that kind of shorted itself out. So it's not, maintenance is keeping up with what we can. But a lot of these things are just purely aged. At some point, 50-year-old hangar doors are giving out, and you just kind of have to assume at least a couple of doors are going to be giving out in a given year. And do my best to work that into the budget, but those are the kind of things that pop up or kind of impact the budget. The insurance one was the one that blindsided us because we didn't get those numbers until late in the budgeting process, and 2024 had already been done, and we had to redo the 2025 budget just to make the numbers work.
And then isn't there a part that we're getting for?
Yeah, as part of the things we did, we increased the fuel flowage fee that Jet Air pays, went from 10 cents to 15 cents a gallon. Kind of the trade-off for that was we're buying a broom attachment for our tractor to help with snow removal and other cleaning operations. So once that clears, essentially this fiscal year, we're going to have in 2026. I think already we're projecting a surplus of like $30,000 without any of those individual one-time fees. And then we just we need to maintain that for a good couple of years where we're extremely profitable to get our cash balance back into good graces. So it's not as dire as it seems to be, but we are kind of on that edge where a couple of good bad thing, a couple of good explosion of doors or things really will kill us. And then we've got other things floating up there. We're gonna have to prepare like trees and storms aren't helping me out, so I can't use storm damage and put it on insurance. So we're gonna have to at some point budget to actually deal with those. And go forward. So yeah, it's kind of your snapshot of the budget for the next couple of years. Going to be extremely tight and not still a whole lot of room to do a lot of stuff with. Next item I think is strategic plan. Kind of just walking through this a little bit just to make sure everybody remembers that we did go through the strategic plan a couple of last year. Goals continuing to increase communities use of the airport, developing the infrastructure, funding mechanism, and then sustaining our communication with city council and other city departments. So far things aren't terrible. We got city support for our solar array. We got city support for the terminal building project. I know we did do the annual report, Electra and Brian that were up there. That was like you and Judy.
Me and Judy and me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You did. I was just there for operational support.
So we are doing those things continually, but there are other things that folks have an interest in. Happy to entertain any and all options. We do have, in terms of events, we do have the pancake breakfast this weekend. So make sure folks come out to have some pancakes and wander around.
It's not in the pack. Don't wander around in pack.
Don't wander in the pack. But it's a good community event that folks look forward to, and usually brings a good amount of traffic. And the weather looks like it's gonna be one of the nicer ones that we've had more weekends.
So it sounds like goal 3, developing funding mechanisms is.
It's still the one, and if I could find, the people to invest in our hangar, our private hangar bills.
So. This might be a question.
Sure.
Not a lot of income, but why are we not renting out that big hangar over there and just putting trucks in it? I guess.
That was, I mean, we can go back to renting it out.
Yeah.
That was kind of an executive decision by
Okay.
me to. We were running out of space and all
Yeah.
of our equipment had been sitting outside. And the opportunity came up that hangar, got
Yeah.
put back in the
Yeah.
airport. And knowing that, especially in the winter when the guys are pulling the broom off and putting the plow on, they need space.
I guess.
It was at least even though it's not climate controlled, it was at least an internal space that we could have. To keep our equipment out of the weather.
Yeah.
Um,
For the grant function or application process though, would the FAA or whoever the state, the funding entities. I assume it's not a hangar, like if we were to build a structure, it would not be a hangar, so it would be more of an airside improvement where they would not like take away money for us for 5 years or whatever? Or is that not the case? Would they treat it as like any other storage building? And it is a hangar, is a
We're not
hangar, is
building
a
a
hangar.
hangar. We're not building a hangar. It's not a hangar.
Yeah,
We promise it's not a hangar.
yeah,
It may look like a hangar, but it's not a hangar because we've got trucks and stuff. that we
Yeah,
just
so-
store.
yeah, you can get money for an equipment building. It has the formulas just like everything else. that
Yeah.
they would pay for. We do have it on our CIP program for FAA to essentially participate in a building.
Hmm,
It's just several years down the road
Sure.
on our list.
I might suggest that maybe that's something we look at for state grants.
I mean, cause if the terminal, so like. Hopefully the terminal building is through. Terminal building does not go through and we have another year, are we like, just, or at least that's probably, or that's a separate funding source, right? So I mean, I don't know, I guess, cause in my mind, if we really are funding a lot of our budget off of hangars, then we should. Probably try to, somebody will rent that, unless, maybe you know better than I do, does nobody want to rent that hangar? Cause I mean, it's 300
It's,
a month,
it's
275.
like 350.
Yeah,
It's
I guess we'll.
an oddly shaped hangar.
Yeah.
Like it's not big enough really for two airplanes.
Yeah.
And it's too big for one.
Yeah.
So for,
Yeah.
$350 for a 172.
Yeah,
You usually don't get a market, but, we had, the last because of the width of it,
yeah,
it made a good home for a glider.
yeah,
And that was
Yeah.
kind of the market where it was, and the folks that had gliders, the one gentleman built his own.
Yep.
And then the other one had, I think, health issues that kind of took him out of being able to fly gliders and went to like sport airplanes. So that's kind of where it is.
Yeah.
It's a oddly shaped hangar.
And it can't-
Not saying that somebody wouldn't rent it,
Yeah.
but
for the lack of no other rental, that's what I was thinking is that, I mean, I know that they're like. You're not gonna get somebody who's with a tiny plane that just needs space, but if you want somebody who wants to be in Iowa City, which I've met. You never know how many of these people you meet are interested until they start paying, but. I guess that would be for the budget thing, or even strategic plan, talking about funding sources, I think. Looking at what we can do to rent that hangar out and also like. Probably evaluating the other hangars that we have and the number that we keep empty. Just to see like how many do we really need to keep empty, how many does Jet Air get to have at their disposal? And maybe I'm friends with, I think, everybody here, but I mean, from like a budget perspective, like it should be a fair thing to be like, how many, like, if we go out now, how many hangars are empty or like, not maybe actively being used, but not actively being used in a rental and a
we
tenant
have,
capacity.
and we do have a couple of hangars that I can think of that airplanes split time between here and another
Yeah.
location. We do have a couple of hangar queens of airplanes.
Yeah.
That haven't flown in
I mean, that's
a
fine.
decade.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying kick those people out. I'm saying like the hangars that are empty or
But
not.
I keep one
Yeah.
hangar, on the north side, and I think right now it's hangar number 7. I have to double check my list. But I keep one hangar on the north side as an emergency hangar. That's just available for.
Yeah.
A door breaking that we need to get an airplane in for a while.
And Jet Air has a few at their disposal.
Jet Air has a couple, they sublease the 2 to the state patrol. And they've got 1 for flight training aircraft, and then I think technically they have 2 for flight training aircraft.
But they pay.
Yeah, they're paying.
Hey.
Yeah, well, that's not what the ones I'm talking about are like floating hangars that are like empty, so that way airplanes can get stored
Yeah.
and other places aren't available. Things like that, cause I don't know. Perceptions, there are those out there.
But otherwise, yeah, all our hangars are, with the exception of the 1 emergency hangar,
Yeah.
I keep it, everything's under a lease.
Okay, and do we meet the FAA's kind of guidance on or hangars being used for non-aviation storage? Cause I don't, like, I have driven by at least a hangar with
There's,
ambulances in
there's
it.
probably one
So-
that has, become a little bit more of an ambulance hangar rather than the.
And one time there was a fuselage in there.
He
but-
did have an airplane on there that he sold the airplane and hasn't replaced.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to ruin anybody's day, but I guess for the budget.
That's a legitimate.
But that's-
For the budget stuff,
And do we have anything in the leases to say,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
can be
we've
used
got,
for this purpose?
we've got clauses in there for how long you have to refill the hangar with an airplane.
How long has it been
It's
since?
been a while. I don't remember.
Can we maybe like
Remind
execute
them.
that clause in our?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's not like, hey,
What's
it's
that?
done, but just like a.
And that, the
reminder.
hangar you said that's an odd size?
Mhm.
If it's not if it's climate controlled, that would be expensive to put that in, right? Would that be a hangar that maybe one of the university research people would want for some reason? Because even though it's an odd size, it might work for research type stuff?
Not really, just because it's not in their
The collection.
area.
Okay,
So,
Discussion.
Yeah, you're fine.
so
It's budget.
a gentle reminder is fine,
Yeah,
but like,
you can't tell them.
I will, I don't care.
well, yeah, I mean, we can, the FAA has been like, the FAA ties grant money, right, to.
Yeah, we do have obligations to make sure hangars are meant for aircraft.
So like, if you can gently or not so gently, I don't care, I'll go get a spike strip. You tell that guy, look, you gotta get a plane in there, cause if our wait list is long and that's just not good.
Yeah, I know.
There are some of our clients I know that have things in their leases that say the aircraft has to be airworthy or if it's
Yeah.
not, they have so many months to get it airworthy. Or somebody's building one, say a home build.
Yeah.
There's one airport I know that has several people that are building home builds. They give them X months or years. At that point in time, if they still don't have a viable aircraft,
Yeah,
I mean, but that type of stuff is up to, airport management and that commission to decide if you want to make those restrictions. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You're right, you want to have good neighbors, you don't want to be keeping your
No.
funds.
No,
Firstly, you
no.
want to be maximizing your revenue, and revenue can include the fuel sales, the
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not
This is
making.
happening with the hangar planes.
We have an active interest in making sure that the aircraft that are in hangars are airworthy and flyable, because we don't get, I mean. The rent is the piddly amount here, the money that we really make is on fuel sales, and so if it's not able to fly, it's not consuming fuel, and we're not getting the fees, so. I don't know if we have anything, our contract clauses about it has to be airworthy.
I don't
Not
think,
what I've read.
not for airworthiness. We have a couple of things in there for home builders. To pay an extra fee for utility usage because they're.
Because yeah.
But we don't have, the only real timeline clause we have in the T-hangar contracts are. If you sell your airplane, you get like 90 days to refill your hangar with something else.
Okay. If we have some hangar queens that have planes in there that haven't flown in a while. They haven't left the hangar. Well, we know they're not ever, they haven't left. the hangar. But it might be worth approaching that contract language and seeing if we can update it.
Yeah, do that for the next hangar piece.
Yeah, for next lease cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I do wanna keep, I wanna make sure that, you know, if there's fresh blood that wants to have a hangar and actively use it. It makes sense. I
I mean, a
mean,
lot of people out there, like.
yeah, yeah. Okay, anyway. Sure. Flight training reports, that's not here. I don't know if there's anything worth calling out.
I don't know of anything special. I know last month was fairly busy with Oshkosh and we just got our foliage check and it's a nice foliage check. I would like to have 12 more months of those kind of checks. And yeah, but I know activity's been up generally. I know the guys are working hard on getting, it's looking pretty decent for pancake breakfast weekend. I know they've got a lot of weeding and trimming and stuff that they've got to get done. You know, they know, they know.
I pulled a bunch of the weeds out through here, but I couldn't do the thistles. But I got this, just left it.
So yeah,
They need that.
we're working on it.
Can we remind them to have that be the area that they're constantly doing first? Because that's where people coming in and out see it. And it's not a big area. It takes like 10 minutes to weed it. Instead of me weeding it every time we have a meeting.
We will remind them, yes.
Commissioner reports.
That was it.
I know the grass runway thing was waiting for the FSDO. Has the FSDO'd anything?
I have some more information from FSDO. I need to get a letter to
Okay.
FSDO,
Okay,
for like a more formal request.
okay.
That about sums up my understanding of what the FSDO does besides, you know. There's your 709 rider, whatever it's called.
They're nice guys.
Yeah. They're nice until they're not.
Salted.
Staff report.
Kansas City, conference is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, Thursday, Friday, technically, I will be leaving here Wednesday to go down there, so I get up before the morning drive. But that's should be the end of conferences and trips and anything else going on. I'm already talking to the drive-in movie folks about doing multiple movies out here next summer. So yeah, that's.
Oh, how did that one go? I did not attend, unfortunately.
Barbie?
I think it went well. I don't know, I wasn't out here either. But I didn't get any reports.
That's good, yeah.
And then pancake breakfast on Sunday.
Next meeting, September 12th. I should be able to make it.
I should be here.
I should be here.
Sure. You have any?
Yes, I'll be here.
Right. I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I.